In this video, I'll be talking about the Cardano fundamentals, what's been happening in the Cardano project, what does the next few months look like. I'll also be talking a little bit about what projects are and might be switching to the Cardano blockchain. And I'll also have a brief look at what the price analysis is looking like in terms of USD and BTC comparison. So if you're a recent Cardano holder or you're a long-term investor, then I highly recommend that you watch this video until the end. At the moment, it looks like Cardano will be trading between $1.13 and $1.30 in that price range. It's consolidating after a massive price rally that happened at the beginning of the year. So it's really important to be super patient after massive price rallies. Don't be bored with the inaction that is happening at the moment. Just realize that the more patient you are and the longer you wait, time in the market always beats time in the market. Furthermore, if you're not already staking your ADA, make sure you do, because 5% is not something to joke about. I mean, where do you ever get 5% for staking anything, or just 5% on your money? Even if Cardano is not moving in terms of price, you can always be earning more Cardano by staking it. So do make sure that you start staking as soon as possible, because if you're not staking, you're basically throwing money out the window. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe if you're interested in cryptocurrency news, research, tutorials, and a future outlook on where I believe the cryptocurrency market is going to go. Furthermore, if you believe in the fundamentals and the future vision of the Cardano project, then I just highly recommend that you don't look at the charts when nothing is happening. Just do other things, enjoy your life, and then maybe set some price alerts at maybe $2 or $3 or wherever you want, and look at the charts then. But when the price is not moving, don't be distracted by the noise of the short term, and just make sure that you keep the long-term horizon. That should be your objective. Just try and vision where Cardano is going to be in the next few years, and that's going to make these small movements, especially for new hodlers, a lot easier to stomach. In terms of ADABTC, it's really important to look at ADA in comparison to BTC, because you want Cardano to be outperforming BTC, otherwise it makes more sense to hold Bitcoin. I mean, understand the fundamentals are strong, but this is just on an investment standpoint. So what is really nice is that we've had quite a bit of a correction in terms of ADABTC in March, and now we're trading at a pretty strong support line, which is slightly above the previous peak at around 1,900 sats, and now we're trading about 2,000 sats, and this is pretty good. And I'd like to see a few more touch points on this support line and a lot more volume coming into it, and that's possibly going to be happening with the wave of updates that's coming in the next few months. So you've got the Alonzo hard fork that should be bringing smart contracts, albeit these smart contracts are first coming to the testnet and will be only fully live on the Cardano blockchain in the next 3 to 5 months. So it's possible that this might cause a slight pump in the next 1 to 2 months, but the next 3 to 5 months is definitely going to be the time frame to keep an eye upon. In terms of fundamentals, let's have a quick recap what Cardano has undergone in the first quarter of this year. So we've had the Mari hard fork, which happened on the 1st of March. And this is a really important milestone, as that introduced native assets. So this is a tremendous functionality that has been added to the Cardano blockchain. So these native assets are very similar to the ERC20 tokens that you can find on the Ethereum blockchain, albeit with a very important difference, and that is the native assets on Cardano do not rely on smart contracts. Since they do not rely on smart contracts, they're going to be a lot cheaper to use. And furthermore, this is one of the biggest selling points, and that is, as soon as you've got, for example, a stable coin or a token on the Cardano blockchain, as soon as you can send them, you can actually pay the transaction fee using that native asset. So if I've got some kind of stable coin on Cardano, I can send that stable coin to someone else. I can pay the fee in that stable coin, and I won't have to hold the ADA tokens in order to pay that fee. on the Ethereum blockchain, if you want to send a stablecoin, you have to hold ETH. That adds a layer of complexity onto sending transactions. And I think that is really, really important for usability's sake. I highly recommend that you watch one of my recent videos where I talk about how Cardano blockchain is very close to winning the stablecoin race, definitely because of these native assets and how they work. Nifties or NFTs, or however you may want to call them, is definitely something that is not over yet. However, many people have been complaining how incredibly expensive they've become to mint new NFT tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. I'm talking about several $100s just to mint a single NFT, because you have to lock it up. You have to actually perform multiple smart contract calls in order just to mint a token. And the same is with bidding on tokens. You probably have to pay like $20 or $30 just to actually add a bid in order to hopefully buy NFT artwork. The introduction of native assets allowed for the first NFTs to be created on the Cardano blockchain, and the first projects minting non-fungible tokens on this blockchain are Cardano Kids and SpaceBuds. Now, without smart contracts, you cannot really have a platform such as OpenSea or Rarible in order to mint them on that platform. So at the moment, the only way to buy these artworks is through a Discord channel with an escrow service. A bit hacky, but still fun that NFTs are now live on the Cardano blockchain. A massive milestone has just been reached with Cardano becoming nearly completely decentralized with D equal 0. So this last milestone was reached on the 31st of March, right before the 1st of April. Some people thought it was an April 1st joke, but lo and behold, it's actually not a joke, and Cardano is mostly decentralized. Not completely decentralized. It will only reach the full decentralization stage with the introduction of the Voltaire era. Back in 2020, when the Shelley upgrade happened and staking became possible on the Cardano blockchain, D was equal to 1, meaning that IOHK actually had a network of federated nodes, and those would be creating all of the blocks. Now with D equal 0, the Cardano blockchain does not rely on this federated network, and all of the blocks are actually produced by the stake pool operators, is one of the most decentralized blockchains around. The only thing that has to now be achieved is to get people that have their funds on centralized exchanges to remove their funds off of the centralized exchanges and into stake pool operators, because you might not realize it, but massive centralized exchanges, they're stealing your money away from you. For example, Binance will lock the withdrawal of your funds right before the end of an epoch so that they can reap the rewards from staking without giving you any of that money. So if you've got your funds on a centralized exchange, make sure to actually start staking your Cardano as soon as possible, because yeah, I mean, you do like money, no? GOG1 era of Cardano will actually end with phase 3, which is another hard fork, Alonzo the name, and that will introduce smart contracts onto the Cardano blockchain. In the last Cardano 360 update, Charles Hoskinson actually outlined what the next steps are for Alonzo. So Alonzo will bring smart contracts. The testnet will actually take place between May and June 2021, with the hard fork combinator happening between July and August. Probably going to be happening August, September, if we take into account any type of delays. With other hard forks, there weren't so many delays, but it's really important to keep our expectations in check, especially for price speculation, because people will be jumping the gun before these events actually happen. So this is going to be very interesting. The first project that was already talked a lot about the interest of migrating onto Cardano is Singularity.net. So this is one of the first projects that announced its intention to move from Cardano to blockchain. It's a decentralized artificial intelligence solution created by Ben Goertzel, And they actually announced the departure from Ethereum a while ago, I think back in early October 2020. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they actually continue to perform on the Cardano blockchain. The next project that is probably going to be integrating onto the Cardano blockchain, but this is not from an official announcement. This is pure speculation, and that is the Celsius network. And the reason for that is, first of all, the Celsius network is actually an asset management platform with over 10 billion in assets. And the thing is that Celsius network is currently paying around 2.5 million US dollars in fees just in order for people to use the Celsius network on the Ethereum blockchain. So yeah, this migration from Ethereum to another blockchain just seems like a no-brainer. Now, of course, it could be migrating to another blockchain. It'll be really interesting to see how that pans out. What I can also see as a likelihood is that they're going to keep the platform on the Ethereum blockchain, as well as create another version on the Cardano blockchain, just to see which one performs better. It's going to be very interesting to see how this works. Last but not least, I'd like to share with you the current state of the Cardano ecosystem. You've got the core organizations here on the left with Cardano Foundation, some oracles, Ergo, Wolfram Alpha. I'd like to see Chainlink on this list, but I think they've got something in store for Cardano. You've got the developer ecosystem, Marlow, Clo. You've got the developer resources. KVM is something that is super interesting because that will allow many different programming languages to create smart contracts. You've got the different wallets, the research education, the blockchain labs education. You've got different payment services. So it's still a bit lacking in terms of DeFi space and so on, but it's clear smart contracts have to be introduced for this to really flourish and take off. As soon as you've got the use cases, as soon as you've got the users that can actually benefit from all this new dApps that will be created on the Cardano blockchain, that's when it's really going to take off. But until then, still looking very promising. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.